covering Northern California. You're watching Action News Now, coverage you can count on.
This was a former drug house in our community, and we've transformed it into this beautiful place that's going to offer hope.
A second chance for a home and dozens of recovering addicts. We'll take you on a tour. Plus, flowers adorn train tracks, memorializing a local teen killed. We'll tell you what her family is sharing about her final hours. And local efforts continue to help millions in Southern California. But first, breaking news, the woman convicted in the deadly DUI crash that killed a Chico State student received the maximum sentence in court today.
Butte County District Attorney Mike Ramsey says Sierra Miguel was driving high on meth when she killed 19-year-old Lisbeth Torres. The crash happened in 2023 on Highway 99 near the Thermalito Afterbay. Miguel's 4-year-old son was with her at the time. After hearing from grieving family members of Torres, the judge sentenced Miguel to 11 years, 4 months in prison.
New at 6, Chico Project Save, a local nonprofit group, is stepping up to help those affected by the Southern California fires.
Action News Now reporter Alejandro Mejia shows us how the group is using recycled medical supplies to save lives.
In the North State, we are accustomed, unfortunately, to wildfires. So we kind of know exactly what Southern California needs at the moment.
Chico Project Save loaded this 26-foot U-Haul full of medical supplies to help support those affected by the Southern California wildfires. Thursday morning, volunteers helped load the truck full of medical supplies, which included gloves, respirator masks, crutches, and powered wheelchairs, to name a few things. But this effort wouldn't have been possible without community support. The North Valley Community Foundation donated $1,000 to help with travel expenses, and U-Haul gave the group a discounted price on the truck rental, and Chico local Ken Karazinski offered to cover the return flights for the 2 volunteers driving the supplies to Los Angeles.
We so appreciate at Project Save the community support that we have received. Everyone is so grateful.
The truck is headed to the Colin and Katz Family YMCA. That's where the medical supplies will be distributed to fire survivors in need. Courtney Casey, a longtime volunteer of the group who is driving the supplies to Los Angeles, told me the items collected were based off of what was needed by locals after the Camp Fire.
It's very important for us. We remember the Camp Fire. We should never forget that. We remember the implications of all the people that came to our community. It's a payback.
The truck will make its way to Los Angeles Thursday. Chico Project Save volunteers will drop off the essential medical supplies on Friday. Reporting in Chico, Alejandro Mejia, Action News Now.
Chico Project Save was founded in 1996. The group's donated salvaged medical equipment to 49 different countries. You can drop off donations or pick up items that you need every Tuesday, 9 a.m. to noon. We're learning more about fire hydrants running dry during the Palisades firefight and whether we could see something similar happen here in our area. As we've reported, 3 million gallons of water were available when the Palisades fire started, but the demand was 4 times greater than ever seen before. So the question is, could we run into the same problem someday in Chico? Well, we reached out to Chico Fire Chief Steve Standridge, and he told us when firefighters get low water flow during a firefight, Cal Water is always quick to increase pressure. But pressure isn't always the problem. We spoke to Cal Water District Manager for the Chico area. Evan Markey told me that he thinks Chico's water system can handle only so much, but there is not a water system in the world designed to protect the community from the type of fire that happened in Pacific Palisades. Markey told me that it's not just the draw off of multiple hydrants at the same time, but it's the inability to stop pipes from burning up and hemorrhaging water. That's what dries up the supply. But Cal Water's trying to get ahead of the curve here. Markey says crews just increased the size of water mains in areas near the foothills like Canyon Oaks and Cal Parks in Chico. And Cal Water is also hoping to add a storage tank at the Chico Regional Airport to increase capacity for firefighting efforts. They're hoping that the CPUC approves that by the end of 2025.
Let's take a live look now over Los Angeles County. Things have really calmed down with those fires, but they have collectively burned more than 28,000 acres and killed 25 people and destroyed more than 12,000 buildings. More than 80,000 people are still under evacuation orders.
Chief Meteorologist Howie Gordon is tracking conditions for us all, not just in our area, but also to our south where it was really windy just a day or so ago. Things are a bit better right now, right, Howie?
Yeah, those red flag warnings, those wind advisories, those have been lifted, and the air quality alert has been lifted for the time being as well. So the Santa Ana winds, when you get high pressure on one side, storms over there off towards the east, they develop those winds that start squeezing them through the canyons and the mountains, and you get those strong, gusty winds coming down the mountains, which is also a warming and a drying effect. Let's take a look now that those winds have slowed down. All right, here's our Southern California hotspots. But now that those winds are no longer dropping down and drying the area out, as well as providing oxygen with the wind, look at these moisture levels, the green, the relative humidity levels that were at 7, 12, 9%. Remember, 15 or lower, very, very dangerously low. Now, recovery at night has been pretty good when you get over 40, and we're seeing that. So a lot better with the moisture, and you're seeing the winds. The winds are on the lighter side, and it looks to keep going for a couple more days. They are expected to pick up again, but for now, winds on that lighter side. Let me show you right here. So here we are for Friday. Remember, I was showing you 65, 70 mile per hour winds. Now these wind gusts really coming down, but they are expecting a return of the winds in the near future, Haley.
All right, we'll keep an eye on that. Thank you, Howie.
Right now, you can help determine how our region's biggest cities will be linked via public transit. A community workshop is underway right now in Redding discussing the North State Intercity Bus to Rail plan. You still have time to head over, just swing by the Shasta Regional Transportation Agency on East Street. Or if you want to join virtually, you can do that too. We have a link on actionnewsnow.com under news links. That meeting goes until 7 tonight. Right now, deputies are working to learn what led up to a train hitting and killing a 17-year-old. It happened at Eaglehorn Road at Highway 99 in Los Molinas. We did speak with the family of Olivia Freemeyer. That's the teen who was killed. Grandparents Luke and Melinda Freemeyers said that earlier that night, they dropped off Olivia and her boyfriend to meet with people who live across the tracks. The sheriff's office is still investigating if any drugs or alcohol may have been involved, or if she was wearing headphones at the time that it happened that may have prevented her from hearing the train coming.
The Good News Rescue Mission's new sober living home is up and running on Gold Street in Redding. Action News Now reporter Blake Mayfield took a tour of the new recovery home today.
We want to create a place where it can be calm, it can be peaceful, and they can have the best chance at succeeding in life.
7 men who've recently completed the Good News Rescue Mission's intensive recovery programs now have a new place to call home. They're staying at this newly renovated home just a few blocks from the heart of downtown Redding.
They've graduated, they've done some really hard work on dealing with the issues that cause their addiction, and they're clean, they're sober, and they're ready to take that next step.
The sober living home here on Gold Street comes equipped with 4 bedrooms, 2 living rooms, a full-size kitchen, and even a library.
They're working, they're paying rent, they're taking care of the place, they've got chores and duties around, and really actually keeping an eye on the whole neighborhood.
Wandro says the sober living home used to be a hot spot for drug activity and squatters, but with projects like this, he says the mission might actually help the neighborhoods it builds in.
We took what in our community was a really run-down drug house, and now we've turned it into something that increases property values in the neighborhood and is a sober living home.
The men who stay at the home will have to be employed and paying rent every month. Wandro says this helps keep them on track in their recovery by giving them responsibility and a structured living environment.
And they're ready to take another step where they don't need someone who's constantly watching them all the time. They're working, they're going about life. They've connected and have begun to build healthy community around themselves already. And that's what this is for.
Reporting on Gold Street in Redding, I'm Blake Mayfield, Action News Now.
The Good News Rescue Mission originally bought the house for around $200,000, and with these upgrades, the mission projects that the house could be worth as much as $500,000 now.
Chico police are still working to figure out who fired several shots in the area of East 12th Street and Mulberry Street. Police say several people called 911 reporting a series of shots fired just before 10 p.m. This was last night. Police say they found shell casings, but there were no victims. We are working to learn if they have any suspects identified. Dozens of Northern California representatives are heading to the nation's capital for President-elect Donald Trump's inauguration Monday. RNC delegate and Redding City Councilor Tanessa Audette says her colleagues in the Republican Party invited her to go to the swearing-in. Representatives from the California Federation of Republican Women, along with Congressman Doug LaMalfa, will also be in attendance.
I have a great relationship with Congressman LaMalfa. We've been working together on many issues that affect the North State, and so he also invited me to come. Sandy Pope, who is also an RNC delegate, will also be going. There's a few people from the Republican Women's Federated that will be attending as well.
Valerie Volbrecht, Shasta GOP chair, says about 40 local leaders in all will head to Washington, D.C.
Heads up if you live in Redding. Starting today at Placer Street and Buenaventura Boulevard, crews are working on new curbs and striping. Work will be done during the day between 7 a.m. and 6 p.m. through February 7th. A Chico Elementary School scores 100% on helping those in need. We have the details, new at 6.
But first,
predators are looking at the disaster with dollar signs in their eyes instead of kindness in their hearts.
California's Attorney General says he's bluffing. He's coming after price gougers, and it says that they are preparing to go after vulnerable fire survivors.